with the original. And the original was 54. And I'm sorry, the original was 54. And the increase was 70. Let me write it again here. 70.2 minus 54. That's the increase. And be very careful if you write it like this. You have to put parentheses around the numerator. Careful. So this is 7 here. Let me just do this. It's much better. Difference over the original. So this is 70.2. That's the increase. Minus, that's the ending point minus the original divided by original. Okay? Be very careful how you enter this in the graphing calculator, because if you do not enter it the way I show it to you, as parentheses 70.2 minus 54, that's the increase, close. And now you divide by 54. The calculator will, if you don't put parentheses, the calculator will only calculate 54 over 54. So this is, as expected, a 30% increase. Good, last question. By what percent will the area increase? Okay, so for the difference, for the area over the original, so we have 287.3 minus 170 divided by the original. So again in parentheses, please, 287 divided 0.3, sorry, minus 170 divided by the original, of course. Don't forget parentheses, very important. And we got 69%. Good. %. Good. Now we can move on. Any questions on this problem? The linear difference did not change, but the quadratic difference was different. Oh, there is still a part. Okay. Explain why the area and perimeter will not increase by the same percent. Okay. Is found by adding, and the other one by multiplying. When the 30% increase is multiplied by another 30% increase, the result is 0.3 times 0.3. It's 0.09. 0.09 is 0.9%. Let me explain this before we look. So when we multiply 30% by 30%, which is not possible, right? So 0.03 by 0.3 times 0.3, which is 0.09, which changes into 9%. So careful with that. So 0.3 times 0.3, when you multiply, you always get a smaller number, right? 0.3 times 0.3 is 9, but you have 2 decimal digits, remember? So you have to move the decimal point 2 digits to the left. So this is 9%. So the 30% and the 30% changes into 9%. So let's go back. Careful here. 9%. So the perimeter, the new perimeter is found by adding. So we're adding the increased quantities, the new perimeter. We are determining the increased quantities, and we're adding them. The area is found by multiplying, because we have to multiply the new increased amounts in length and width. When the 30% increase is multiplied by another 30% increase, it's 0.3 times 0.3. The result is 0.9, which is 9% increase. Okay. So they don't want me to calculate the 30%. They just want me to write the result of 69%. I thought that they were just discussing. So that's why we got the 69%. Yeah, so I thought that they were just in general saying 0.3%, 0.3 times 0.3, but they only wanted us to copy this. That's all they wanted. Sorry about that. Okay, sales tax, find the sales tax, purchase rate, okay. Again, the same thing. Please stop me if you want to work on any of these. We've looked at those, but please stop me if you want more. The sales tax on a purchase of $75 was $3. What is the sales tax rate? Is this a yes or a no? The sales tax and the sales tax is 93.99 and the sales tax rate is 6.5. Find the purchase price. Okay. Let me know, please. Especially some of you who just came in, maybe you want some clarification on this. Janice bought 3 lamps for her new apartment in a city where the sales tax is 5%. The lamps cost this. Find the total cost of her lamp purchase. So we add up and we add 5% of that amount. Is this okay to move on? I cannot see you, so please speak up.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. The purchase price, price of a new camcorder was this, and the total cost, including sales tax, is this. What is the sales tax rate? Okay. Sales commission and the amount of commission. Sales amount and the commission. Find the commission rate. The commission rate is 8% and the commission is this. Find the amount of sales. The same thing. Same thing. Did we get the idea with these percent and increase and sales tax?
Yes.
So you want me to move on to module 4? Is this good enough? Same thing with the unemployment. She lost 7% of her investment. She had this. So after she lost 7% of the investment, she had this. What was the original investment? We need to work on this. Discounts. Okay. Are we comfortable with all this? The sales tax and everything? I don't want to move on if you have questions. If you decrease an amount by 7% 3 times in a row, what percent decrease results? That's an interesting one. Very good. So let's work on this problem. So x minus 0.7 of x. It's 0.07. It's at 7%. So let's take a look again. if you decrease an amount by 7% 3 times in a row, what percent decrease results? So from the original amount, I subtract 7% and I get 0.93 times x. Then from 0.93x, I subtract 0.07 of the original amount now of 0.93 times x. And let's see what we get. So this is the first time. The second time, we are decreasing this amount by 7%. And we get the last amount. I need to determine this, and then the third time, I decrease this by 7%. So 0.93 minus 0.07 times 0.93, and this is 0.8649x. The third time, from 0.8649x, I subtract 0.07 of 0.8649x. So 0.8649 minus 0.07 times 0.8649. So this is 0.8043 x. If you decrease an amount by 7% 3 times in a row, so I decrease the amount by 7% and I get a new amount. Then the new amount gets decreased by 7% of it, and then I get a new amount. And the third time, from that new amount, I decrease that from 7% from it, of it, right? And it says type a whole number or decimal number rounded to 1 decimal place as needed. So what I got is 80.4. It's not really clear to me, because you can't decrease the amount by 0.07 and multiply that by 3 times. This is the way I understand it. I decrease an amount by 7%. Then the new amount is decreased by 7%. And then the new amount is decreased by 7% of it. It's not 0.07 to the third power times x. So 0.07, oops, I didn't mean that, 0.07 to the third power. That's nothing. So this is the way I understand it. From the original amount, I subtract 7%. From the new amount, I subtract 7% of it. From the new amount, I subtract again 7% of it. Type a whole number or decimal number rounded to 1 decimal place as needed, because I have to change it into percent, and I have 0.4. That's my understanding of what they want. So final minus initial, so percent change. Choose an initial amount, and then apply the given discount 3 times. Then calculate the overall percent change using the formula. Okay, so what I determined, let me go back. No. So this is 0.8. Okay, so what they want That's why it wasn't clear to me from the beginning what they meant by this. So this is the decreased amount. I don't have the amount, so I have the decrease divided by original. But that is not clear to me from their explanation here. If you decrease an amount by 7% 3 times in a row, what percent decrease results?
It took me a while to figure mine out. Mine was decreased by 10%, so I had to keep the 90%, so I had to multiply by 90%. It took me at least 10 minutes to figure this question out. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but I don't think it's clear. To me, it's not. So, what percent decrease results? So, the decrease, the original amount is X. The decrease is from X, I subtract 0.8043X. X doesn't matter because it will go away. We'll simplify it. So they don't want this, but they want the difference between the original minus what I got to. So that's my page 7. So X minus this, which would be basically 1 minus 0.8043. How did you get it, Sarah?
So mine was a decrease by 10%. So I had to look at it as I kept 90%, and then I had to keep multiplying X by 90. And that's how I ended up with my answer. I had to do that 3 different times. And it did take me a while to figure it out because I kept trying to do it the way that you're doing it, but it didn't work out for me.
So 0.1956. So the decrease is from the original minus what I got. So that's because they don't want where I ended up. They wanted a percent decrease of the original. So they want this subtracted from 100%. 100% minus 80%. So I got basically 19.56. They want 1 decimal digit, so this will be 6. So 19.6%. But that was not clear to me when I read it the first couple of times, that they wanted what percent decrease results. So they want the original to be, they decrease to be divided by the original. So they didn't want us where we ended up, but they wanted what is the percent decrease. So I got 19.6 in that case.
Yeah, that's right.
So what I misunderstood, and this is good to understand where the error was, they are not asking us by how much it decreased. They want us to find the percent of the decrease. So the decrease of in percent terms, which means this was correct, but this is not the end. They wanted us to find what percent of the original amount this represents. So I had one more step to go. So the decrease was X minus what I just got. So all the calculations were correct. But now we had to subtract from the original what we got, and then divide by the original. Well, basically X goes away, so we just have 1 minus this. And when I subtracted, I got 0.1956, and I have to change it into a percent, and because this is 5, they want 1 decimal digit, and this is 6, I have to round 5 to 6. So that's how we got 19.6%. It was an interesting question. But they don't want this. They want one step further. Good. Okay. I think we got enough.